Ambassador Elena Vasquez stood in the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council, her hands clasped behind her back. The circular room stretched high above her, filled with beings from across the galaxy. Some had scales, others had fur, and a few seemed to be made of living crystal. All of them were looking at her with what she could only describe as pity. Ambassador Vasquez, High Councillor Thexitar said from his elevated platform. His reptilian features showed no emotion, but his voice carried a tone of finality. The Council has heard your request for military assistance. We have made our decision. Elena felt her heart sink, but she kept her face neutral. She had been Earth's representative to the Galactic Council for 5 years now. In that time, she had learned to read the room. This was not going to go well. The Kraylon Empire has issued a legitimate territorial claim. Thexitar continued. While we understand your people have settled those 3 worlds, the Kraylons discovered them first according to ancient star charts. The Council recommends you negotiate a peaceful transfer of the colonies. Negotiate. Elena's voice was calm, but inside she was burning with anger. High Councillor, the Kraylons are demanding we abandon 3 worlds where 15 million humans live. They've given us 48 hours. That's not negotiation. That's an ultimatum. A massive creature that looked like a floating jellyfish spoke up from the left side of the chamber. Ambassador, your species is new to the galaxy. You must understand that the Kraylons are a warrior race. They have never lost a war in 400 years. It is better to give them what they want than to fight. Elena turned to face the speaker. Councillor Vishana, are you saying the Council will not help us defend our own people? We are saying, Thexitar interrupted, that violence is not the answer. Humanity has been part of this Council for 23 years. In that time, you have shown remarkable skills in art, culture, and diplomacy. You are a soft species, Ambassador. You have no natural weapons, no armor plating, no great physical strength. The Kraylons are 3 times your size with claws that can tear through metal. So, we should just give up? Elena asked. We are offering you our thoughts and condolences, another councillor said. But the Council does not interfere in territorial disputes of this nature. Most species find a way to coexist with the Kraylons. Fighting them is unthinkable. The doors to the chamber suddenly opened with a loud bang. Warmaster Drakthal entered, his massive form filling the doorway. The Kraylon commander stood nearly 3 m tall, covered in dark red scales that looked like natural armor. His yellow eyes scanned the room before settling on Elena. Ah, the human ambassador, he said, his voice a deep rumble. I came to hear your answer personally. Elena turned to face him, her chin raised. She was barely half his height, but she didn't step back. Warmaster Drakthal, humanity's answer is no. We will not abandon our colonies. The chamber fell silent. Several councillors shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Drakthal stared at her for a long moment, then threw his head back and laughed. The sound echoed through the chamber like thunder. You fight us? Your species has no fangs, no claws, no strength. You are food animals playing at being soldiers. We are not as weak as we look, Elena said quietly. I have seen your military reports, Drakthal said, still chuckling. Your ships are slow. Your weapons are primitive. Your soldiers are fragile creatures that break easily. The Council is right to call you a soft species. He leaned down, bringing his massive head close to Elena's. In 2 days, we will take those worlds. Your people can leave peacefully or they can die. The choice is yours. Elena didn't flinch. She looked directly into his yellow eyes. Then I suppose you'll learn something about humans that the Council doesn't know. And what is that? Drakthal asked amused. We don't like bullies. Drakthal laughed again and turned to leave. Your bravery is admirable, little human. But bravery without strength is just foolishness. My fleet will arrive at your colony of New Britannia in 48 hours. I look forward to your surrender. As the massive Kraylon left the chamber, Thexitar spoke again. Ambassador Vasquez, please reconsider. The Kraylons have conquered 17 species. They are unstoppable. Elena turned back to the Council. High Councillor, I have a question. In the 400 years the Kraylons have been conquering worlds. Has anyone ever fought back? Really fought back? Thexitar seemed confused by the question. Most species engage in some defensive battles, yes, but the Krylons always win. That's not what I asked, Elena pressed. Has anyone fought a total war against them? Has anyone made them bleed for every inch of ground? Has anyone made them afraid? Afraid? Vashan's voice was shocked. Ambassador, war in the galaxy is a civilized affair. We have rules. We have honor. You have rules, Elena interrupted. We have history. 4,000 years of human. History is filled with one thing. War. We fought ourselves for so long that we got very, very good at it. Maybe too good. She looked around the chamber at all the alien faces. The Krylons think we are soft because we don't have claws or armor. But humanity learned long ago that the deadliest weapon isn't the one you're born with. It's the one you build. She pulled out a small communication device and pressed a button. This is Ambassador Vasquez. I'm returning to Earth immediately. Inform Admiral Kovac to implement Protocol Omega. Ambassador, Thexter said urgently. What is Protocol Omega? Elena looked at him with an expression that made several counselors lean back in their seats. It wasn't anger. It wasn't fear. It was something they had never seen from a human before. Cold determination. It's what happens when you back a peaceful species into a corner. She said quietly, the Council wanted us to be diplomats. We tried, but if the Kraylons want war, then war is what they'll get. Not the civilized kind you're used to, real war. Human war. You cannot win. Dexter said. Maybe not. Elena admitted, but I promise you this, High Counselor. If we go down, we are taking them with us. And every species in this galaxy will learn a very important lesson about humanity. What lesson? Veshna asked. Elena walked toward the exit, her footsteps echoing in the silent chamber. At the door, she turned back one last time. That we may be soft on the outside, but when you push us, you'll find something very hard underneath. The Kraylons wanted a fight. They're about to discover what happens when you pick a fight with a species that spent 10,000 years fighting itself. She left the chamber, leaving behind a council that suddenly wasn't sure about anything anymore. Back on Earth, in the United Earth Federation headquarters, Admiral Kovac received the message. He looked at his command staff, all of them waiting for orders. Gentlemen and ladies, he said, his voice steady, the Kraylons are coming. The Council won't help us. So we do this ourselves. He pressed a button on his console. Begin Operation Retaliation. Show them what humans do when threatened. The staff began moving immediately, pulling up battle plans that had been prepared for years. Plans the Council had never seen. Plans that would change the galaxy forever. War was coming, and the galaxy had no idea what humanity was capable of. Warmaster Drakthal sat in his command chair aboard the battleship Crimson Fang, watching the view screen with satisfaction. 47 Kraylon warships moved through space in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming red and black under the light of distant stars. It was an impressive sight, one that had made countless species surrender before a single shot was fired. We are approaching the human colony of New Britannia, his tactical officer reported. The planet is within weapons range. Any response from the humans? Drakthal asked. Nothing, Warmaster. No communications. No defensive formations. Their orbital stations are active, but they have made no aggressive moves. Drakthal nodded. This was how it always went. The prey species saw his fleet and realized the fight was already over. Soon the human colony administrator would appear on his screen begging for mercy, offering surrender. Open a channel to the planet, he ordered. The communications officer worked for a moment, then shook his head. Warmaster, they are not accepting our hails. Not accepting. Drakthal frowned. That was unusual. Then target their primary city with a warning shot. A single plasma bolt near their capital building. Let them see our power. The weapons officer locked onto the target and fired. A brilliant streak of superheated plasma shot toward the planet. Drakthal watched, waiting for the expected result. The plasma bolt never reached the surface. A beam of intense light shot up from the planet's surface, intercepting the bolt and dissipating it in a flash of energy. What was that? Drakthal demanded. Analysis shows it was a high-energy laser, Warmaster. But the power level, it's far beyond what our intelligence. Reports suggested the humans. Possessed. Before Drakthal could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Warmaster, multiple contacts. They were hiding in the asteroid field. The view screen changed to show tactical data. 20 human ships, much smaller than the Kraylon vessels, were emerging from the nearby asteroid belt. They had been sitting there waiting, completely hidden from Kraylon sensors. How did we not detect them? Drakthal roared. They appear to have been running completely silent, Warmaster. No power signatures, no heat emissions. They were drifting like dead rocks. Drakthal watched as the human ships suddenly came to life, their engines burning bright. But they didn't move forward in formation like proper warships. Instead, they scattered in all directions, moving in chaotic, unpredictable patterns. All ships engage the enemy, Drakthal commanded. Show these humans how real warriors fight. The Kraylon fleet moved to intercept, their massive ships turning ponderously. The humans were faster, much faster than the intelligence reports had indicated. They darted between the Kraylon vessels like insects, too quick to track properly. Then the humans opened fire. It wasn't like any battle Drakthal had ever seen. There were no formal challenges, no honorable exchanges of fire between matched opponents. The humans simply attacked whoever was closest, firing weapons and then immediately running away before the Kraylons could return fire. Cowards, Drakthal snarled. They won't even stand and fight. But cowardly or not, it was effective. One of his ships, the Bone Crusher, suddenly went dark as a human vessel shot past it at incredible speed. Bone Crusher, report. Warmaster, we've been hit by some kind of kinetic projectile. It punched straight through our shields and into our engine core. We are losing power. Kinetic projectiles? Drakthal was confused. Who used simple metal slugs in space combat? But he quickly realized the problem. The Kraylon shields were designed to stop energy weapons. A physical object moving at tremendous speed went through them like they weren't even there. More alarms. Another ship was reporting damage. Then another. The humans were using multiple types of weapons, switching between lasers, missiles, and those devastating kinetic rounds. They weren't giving the Kraylons time to adapt their defenses. Warmaster, we have mines. The humans seeded the space around the planet with mines. 3 Kraylon ships on the flanks suddenly exploded as they hit the hidden weapons. Drakthal felt something he hadn't experienced in decades of warfare. Confusion. The humans were fighting without any honor, without any rules. They were using every dirty trick imaginable. A small human ship shot directly toward the Crimson Fang. Drakthal smiled. Finally, a direct confrontation. Target that vessel and destroy it. His weapons officer fired. But the human ship suddenly decelerated hard and the plasma bolt shot past it harmlessly. The ship immediately accelerated again, closing the distance. It's not firing, Warmaster. It's just flying straight at us. Too late, Drakthal realized what was happening. Evasive maneuvers. The human ship slammed into the Crimson Fang's shield at full speed and exploded. But it wasn't a normal explosion. The blast was nuclear. A small fusion bomb that turned the ship into a miniature star. The Crimson Fang's shields flickered and died, overloaded by the blast. Shield generators are offline. Hull breaches on decks 4 through 7. They are insane. Someone shouted. They used their own ship as a bomb. Drakthal stared at the view screen in disbelief. What kind of species sacrificed their own people like that? What kind of warriors turned their own vessels into weapons? More human ships were approaching now, and Drakthal could see small objects dropping away from them. What are those? Drones. Warmaster. Hundreds of them. They're autonomous attack drones. The small machines swarmed over the Kraylon ships like predatory insects. Targeting sensors, weapons, and engines. They were too small and too numerous to effectively fight. 4 everyone destroyed. 3 more took its place. Then the railgun barrage began. From positions far outside the battle, Human weapons platforms that had been completely hidden began firing. Long metal rods accelerated to incredible speeds, came streaking through space, slamming into Kraylon vessels with devastating force. All ships retreat. Drakthal finally ordered. Pride warred with survival instinct, but he wasn't a fool. This wasn't a battle anymore. It was a slaughter. Fall back to Rally Point Omega. The Kraylon fleet turned and ran, their great warships limping away from the human colony. Behind them, 12 Kraylon vessels floated dead in space, their hulls torn open by weapons the Kraylons had never even imagined. As the Crimson Fang jumped to faster than light speed, Drakthal stared at the damage reports. 12 ships lost. 12 against an enemy with inferior numbers and supposedly primitive technology. His communications officer spoke quietly. Warmaster, we are receiving a transmission from the human colony. It's being broadcast to the entire fleet. Put it on screen. A human appeared wearing a dark uniform with insignias Drakthal didn't recognize. The human had a calm, almost bored expression. This is Captain Marcus Chen of the United Earth Federation, Warmaster Drakthal. You came to our home expecting us to surrender. Instead, you learned the first lesson about fighting humans. We don't fight fair, we fight to win. This was just one colony defended by one small battle group. We have 73 colonies and the entire Earth Defense Fleet. The human's expression hardened. Come at us again and we'll show you what real war looks like. This is your only, clears throat, warning. The transmission ended. Drakthal sat in silence for a long time. His warriors were looking at him, waiting for orders. Finally, he spoke. Send a message to Empress Shalkara. Tell her we need more ships. Many more ships. And tell her that everything we thought we knew about humans was wrong. Back on New Britannia, Captain Chen watched the Kraylon fleet disappear. His executive officer approached him. Sir, we lost 3 ships, including the one commander Rodriguez used for the suicide run. I know, Chen said quietly. Make sure their families know they saved 15 million people. Today. He looked at the damage display showing the 12 destroyed Kraylon ships. And send all combat data to Fleet Command. Every other colony needs to know how we beat them. Do you think they'll come back? The executive officer asked. Chen nodded. Oh, they'll come back. The Kraylons have never lost a war. They won't accept this. They'll come back with everything they have. Can we win against their entire fleet? Captain Chen thought about the question for a long moment. Then he smiled a cold, hard smile. They still don't understand what they're fighting. They think this is about military strength. It's not. This is about willpower. And humans have been fighting wars of survival since we lived in caves. The Kraylons are about to learn what happens when you threaten our homes. The galaxy would soon learn that lesson, too. Empress Shalkara sat on her throne aboard the Imperial Dreadnought, her massive form radiating barely controlled rage. The holographic display before her showed the humiliating battle at New Britannia, played back for the 3rd time. 12 ships lost, 12 of her finest warships, destroyed by a species the Galactic Council called soft. This is unacceptable, she hissed, her claws digging into the armrests of her throne. Warmaster Drakthal, explain to me how you lost 12 ships to these prey animals. Drakthal stood before her, his head bowed in shame. Empress, the humans do not fight as we expected. They do not follow the rules of honorable combat. They use deception, ambush, and weapons we have never encountered. Then we will bring overwhelming force. Shalkara declared. Gather the Grand Armada. 200 ships. We will crush the human colony at Proxima Station and show them the price of defiance. Empress, Drakthal said carefully, perhaps we should reconsider. The humans are nothing, Shalkara roared. They are a weak species that got lucky once. With the Grand Armada, we will destroy them completely. No more warnings. No more mercy. We will turn their colonies to ash. 3 weeks later, the largest Kraylon military force in 2 centuries gathered at the edge of human space. 217 warships, including the massive dreadnoughts that had conquered worlds. Admiral Kovacs watched their approach from the command center on Proxima Station. humanity's most important colony outside the Sol system. Admiral, the Kraylon fleet is dropping out of FTL. His tactical officer reported. Confirmed count, 217 vessels. They're forming up at the edge of the system. Our preparations complete? Kovacs asked calmly. Yes, sir. Every defense platform is armed and active. The minefield is deployed.